So, Argentine President Javier Milei, aside from crashing the economy, raising poverty and unemployment to unprecedented levels, and crushing the real wage and basically making life worse for everyone in Argentina, aside from the owners of foreign companies, he's been spending a lot of time traveling. I believe he's made something like 10 or 11 overseas trips in just 6 months in power, which doesn't really make sense when you're you're the new president of a country that very desperately is in quite a bit of trouble. So the interesting thing about these trips is that more than half of them have been for non-diplomatic purposes. They haven't involved him traveling to another country to meet like the president, to meet like the economics minister, or to go to like an international conference with other leaders or anything. No. They have been trips to like other countries like Miami or like Europe or whatever to attend like random conferences by fringe think tanks and usually receive an award from them, and then like give a speech where he talks about how intelligent he is and how he's going to win the Nobel Prize in economics. And this happened like 5 to 6 times now. This is someone who like is a libertarian who is against state spending. And every time he travels abroad, it costs hundreds of thousands of state dollars. So it's like he figured out that as the president, you get a blank check to travel wherever you want. And he's taking as much advantage of that as he possibly can. Like, you could invite him to like the launch of a pornographic magazine in Latvia, and he'd probably go. He's that desperate for people to just grovel before him and give him attention that he'll go to like any conference for like any obscure right-wing think tank, show his face and give a speech, and receive like some award they made up just to give him. It's absolutely insane. And he is spending millions upon millions of dollars to do this, while also cutting millions upon millions of dollars from other things like retirement pensions, from welfare, stuff like that. Very interesting. So, you might have noticed that I said, you could invite him to like the launch of a pornographic magazine in Latvia. Basically the same thing as that happened. Javier Milei was tricked by random guys who were former members, not actual members, of an obscure libertarian think tank in Prague into believing that he was speaking at an important annual conference that they run, which, for one, this organization doesn't run an important annual conference. It's a libertarian think tank in Prague. No one fucking knows who they are. Come on. And it wasn't a real conference. 2 former members of this organization did a confidence trick on Javier Milei to trick him into thinking that he was speaking at like the keynote speaker at their annual conference, when it wasn't even that annual conference. It was them pretending to be running the annual conference for this organization. And they gave him a prize that doesn't exist. And this organization tweeted about this. This is like to their credit, like what seems to be a real libertarian think tank institute. What I mean by real libertarian are like the libertarians who hate the poor, but they also hate repression on the basis of like race, religion, and LGBT status and stuff. And they're against the war on drugs and stuff like that. So the institute, the Liberalny Institute, as they are called, very prestigious Czech libertarian think tank with 4,000 followers on Twitter. They tweeted, to clarify for new visitors from Latin America, President Milei did not receive an award from our institute. We didn't invite him. We didn't give him a prize. We didn't talk to him. Our institute does not agree with President Milei on important issues, like the war on drugs. We advocate for the legalization of drugs. The repression of protests, we defend freedom of expression. Abortion, it is the right of women, not the state, among others. The event in Prague was an action of 3 individuals, principally Mr. Schwartz, who deceived the public and President Milei. They are not members of the institute. So, former members of this liberal think tank invented a fake event with a fake prize and pretended that they were giving Milei a prize from this think tank, which is already fairly small and not very well known at all. And Milei got this invite somehow. How do you even contact the president of a country with something like this, by the way? He got this invite from them somehow, and he's like, oh my god, fuck yeah, another opportunity to have people kiss my feet. And he goes there immediately to the conference, gives a speech, receives the award. He's like, yeah, I'm so smart, everyone loves me. And it was all a fucking trick. It was all fake. Unfucking believable. Our president is dumber than Donald Trump. It's unbelievable. By Gmail? I mean, it might be. He might just have a fucking open Gmail where like these bizarre right-wing institutes just send him like invites to receive a prize. It's like if you're running like an event, like a right-wing event, and you want to like get more eyeballs on it so you can make more money, you invite Javier Milei and make up like the American Burger Prize for Liberty and Freedom or some shit. Go and buy like a $2, like one of those cheap wax trophies they give to children from the local trophy store, and give it to him. And he will come immediately like get a ton more idiots to watch your event so you can make more money. Oh my God, like there's actually a map. There's a fucking map. Like this is such a notable phenomenon that there is a map of Milei's trips that is categorized. So Milei's trips. The blue lines are trips that he took to actually like meet government officials in other countries. There is one to Israel, one to the G7 in Italy, one to the Vatican, one to Germany, and one to San Francisco, which I don't think was actually, I don't know what he did in San Francisco, but let's give him that, okay? And then there are 4 trips, five trips that were just him on like going somewhere as a private citizen, basically, for who the fuck knows what, probably to spend state money on tourism. And then there are 3 trips where he went to give a speech and receive a made-up award from like a right-wing think tank. One in Spain, one in Berlin. No, there's four, sorry. And the one in the Czech Republic, and the one in Miami. The one in Miami was bizarre. Like a synagogue gave him a prize called the Ambassador of Light because he said that Israel's genocide is fine, I guess. By Chabad Synagogue, the Shul. I don't know what that is, but I would assume it's like an extreme right-wing Orthodox religious group. And he wears a fucking kippah for some reason when he's not Jewish. And they gave him like a made-up prize just to make him feel good about himself. He's like a fucking child. And his parents as in like right-wing think tank owners, just keep making shit up, like giving him like the hella good boy prize over and over again. It's like a Make-A-Wish kid. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? It is funny, but you also have to remember, he's a fucking libertarian cutting state funding for literally everything, ruining Argentina even more, while spending state money on basically doing tourism. Not just himself, he brings like his sister who he has an incestuous relationship with everywhere as well. And before she became like his chief of staff, she sold cakes on Instagram and read tarot. Like every single person in his government, almost all of them, is a random person with made-up qualifications who before joining his government was like selling brain pills on Instagram or like leading a pyramid scheme. It's fucking insane. And now they're all traveling the world together, living at large off state money, doing like the gap year they never had. Welcome to libertarianism, folks. That's it for you. Milei going around the world, getting prizes like a Make-A-Wish kid. This is Argentina. What is there to say about it? Very deeply unserious, but also very serious, because this guy has the reins of the state and he's driving into the fucking ground. And this obviously has horrible consequences for millions of human beings. Yay.